Dear Esther, I have lost track of how long I have been here and how many visits I have made overall. Certainly the landmarks are now so familiar to me that I have to remind myself to actually see the forms and shapes in front of me. I could stumble blind across these rocks, the edges of these precipices, without fear of missing my step and plummeting down to sea. Besides, I have always considered that if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
Good morning, grandkids. I played this game all the way to the end, and I found it quite boring. The landscape never changes. It takes such a convoluted route to ever get to that lighthouse, and the ending was totally obvious. So this one video is what you'll get because I've been asked so many times to play it. And there's no way to make any commentary in it because this guy is telling his own story. So I can't make a story. So we'll just watch and listen. Most of this stuff really doesn't even matter because all he's doing is reminiscing about what happened to Esther, what he did, and where he's going. Some of these paths take to nowhere, and I probably will wish I had went up that way. You can't run, so you can't hurry. I love listening to that water, though. This is the kind of beach it would be fun to walk along with my big dogs that I had when I lived out in California. Look at all the wreckage from the wrecked boats. Okay, we're not able to go on around here, so we have to go through here.
When you were born, your mother told me, a hush fell over the delivery room. A great red birthmark covered the left side of your face. No one knew what to say, so you cried to fill the vacuum. I always admired you for that you cried to fill whatever vacuum you found. I began to manufacture vacuums just to enable you to deploy your talent. The birthmark faded by the time you were 6 and had gone completely by the time we met, but your fascination with the empty and its cure remained.
I took so many pictures while I was playing through this game, I would hardly know which one to pick for the thumbnail. When I played before, I never did go over to that. If I had, I wonder if I could have went around that point down below. Oh, I doubt if I could have even gotten over to it from here anyway. Although there looks like there's kind of a path. It won't let me jump anywhere. And it usually wouldn't let me go anywhere I tried to go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alright. That was a no-go. I wish I could run. I'll eat my cereal in the meantime, drink coffee. Everything I've tried to do on my own in this game either prevents me from doing it or causes me to fall off the edge of something or something. You just can't do what you want to in the game. Meaning you can't really explore. You have to stay on its route that's already designed for you. Which you know that bores me.
The mount is clearly the focal point of this landscape. It almost appears so well placed as to be artificial. I find myself easily slipping into the delusional state of ascribing purpose, deliberate motive to everything here.
He sounds like he's going insane to me.
Impact, when we were torn loose from our moorings
is.
and the seatbelts cut motorway lanes into our chests and shoulders, did it first break surface then?
Yeah, he's talking about when he wrecked his car. He was drunk. He said so. Eventually.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
He talks of the car wreck. He talks of the infection from some disease. He talks about having kidney stones. I don't know what any of it has to do with any of this, except the car wreck. Now I can go that way or this way, but this just goes around into this path. See all these beautiful flowers, the stony hills.
They were God-fearing people, those shepherds. There was no love in the relationship. Donnelly tells me that they had one Bible that was passed around in strict rotation. It was stolen by a visiting monk in 1776, 2 years before the island was abandoned altogether. In the interim, I wonder, did they assign chapter and verse to the stones and grasses, marking the geography with a superimposed significance that they could actually walk the Bible and inhabit its contradictions?
See, none of that has to do with him wrecking the car and what he's all about. This is a senseless... I just am not happy with it. I will never play it all the way through again. So you're just going to get this one video. It is pretty to look at, but it's just the same. And it takes you the whole game to ever get to that lighthouse. And you know what he's going to do by the end of the game, what he's going to do when he gets there.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
There's that lighthouse over there that we couldn't get down the path to because I couldn't get across the rocks. I fell off of them. Won't let you. I suppose you could walk around here. I don't know. I didn't try. I don't know if it'll let you or not. You either have to go up that path or go in that. When you go in that, you come around in a circle and come right back out again. Let me see if we can walk over there. I didn't try it when I played before. Well, that's interesting. Nothing is stopping me. I don't know how deep this might get. I had never got to see the ship around here before, and I hadn't gotten to see this. I didn't know I could do this. Well, that's interesting. Oh, 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 oh. Oh my God. I think I better go back.
Come back.
Alright, I'm not going to try to go that way anymore because it won't let me. I don't guess. Alright, we're going to have to go over here on this path or into that cave. It'll let you go up the side of this hill to get on this path, but it won't ever let you go up any hill where you want to. Well, now you're on the outside of the fence. I think you get to a dead end down here. You have to go back to the cave anyway. There was an opening. See, all the scenery is just the same all the time.
I dreamt I stood in the center of the sun, and the solar radiation cooked my heart from the inside. My teeth will curl, and my fingernails fall off into my pockets like loose change. If I could stomach, I'd eat, but all I seem capable of is salt water. Were the livestock still here, I could turn feral and gorge. I'm as emaciated as a body on a slab, opened up for a premature source of death.
He's just gone insane.
I rode to this island in a heart without a bottom, all the bacteria of my gut rising up to sing to me.
Now, when you come this path, you come to these standing stones, which mean nothing to the game. You cannot climb up that. It won't let you. There's a fence and a path up there, but you never get up to it. You can go this way, and there's a sheer cliff that you can fall off of, right down to the beach again. You don't want to do that. You just have to come back. So the only way that you can go is this way, and you have to jump off where you think you just don't want to. Oh, man. And here's the end of the path. Up here. glad it was a loading
Dear Esther,
screen.
I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Is he trying to find where he wrecked the car, I guess? Just to reminisce about causing her death, I guess. You know, you can keep on going around the trail, or you can go down in here and go over there and look at all that wreckage of this freight ship. Look, it'll let you, this is all kind of flat, and it'll let you walk all over this, but it don't mean anything. You can't get on that ship. You can walk through this broken open cargo box. Another wrecked boat. These things.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat.
Are all
How
over the
else could
place.
new
I
hermits
have
have
no
arrived?
idea why. Doesn't have anything to do with him wrecking his car or wrecking a ship or anything. They're just everywhere. And when you have to go in a cave, they're all over the place in a cave. Ridiculously so. And of course, as you could see, that led you to a dead end.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half
reminiscing
submerged
about
in
everything.
anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car
See,
of a
what does
drunk.
that mean? That's ridiculous. I can understand her being rendered opaque by the car being wrecked. She's dead.
I've begun my ascent on the windless slope of the western side. The setting sun was an inflamed eye squeezing shut against the light shone in by the doctors. My neck is aching through constantly craning my head up to track the light of the aerial. I must look downwards, follow the path under the island to a new beginning.
I don't know what all these laid out beams are. I know this is marking a path, but I don't know what all this other stuff is. That lighthouse looks so close right there, but it is so far away the way he goes to get there.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Another cow.
Inventory. A trestle table we spread wallpaper on in our first home. A folding chair. I laughed at you for bringing camping in the lakes. I was uncomfortable later and you laughed then. This diary, the bed with the broken springs. Once asleep you have to remember not to dream. A change of clothes. Donnelly's book, stolen from Edinburgh Library on the way here. I will burn them all on the last morning and make an aerial of my own.
He didn't burn them all on the last morning. There's all kinds of notes. All over the place. Of course, it's sheet music. But here was the sad thing. Oh. This chair is in my way. See this? And there's one over there. She was pregnant when he killed her in that car wreck. It's no wonder he's going crazy, because he looks back over their life and says at one point that he was drinking when he wrecked the car. And these paint cans are everywhere in this game. And there is painted big words everywhere, in caves, on mountainsides, everywhere. I have no idea what he was doing. It doesn't even mention them. The wind howls here. But see, the scenery, the flowers, the rocks, the mountain, all the same through the whole game, except in the tunnels when we get there. And that is long. And I hope we don't get there in this video. I got tired of being in there and wanted to get out so bad.
What to make of Donnelly, the laudanum and the syphilis? It is clearly not how he began.
Now this Donnelly
I've been unable
had
to
syphilis.
discover if the former was a result of his visiting the island or the force that drove him here. For the syphilis, a drunk driver smashing his insides into a pulp as he stumbled these paths, I can only offer my empathy. We're all victims of our age. My disease is the internal combustion engine and the cheap fermentation of yeast.
God.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. He'd struggled halfway down the cliff path, perhaps looking for some lost goat, or perhaps in a delirium, and expired. curled into a claw right under the winter moon. Even the animals shunned his corpse. The mainlanders thought to bring it home unlucky. Donnelly claims they dragged it to the caves to thaw out and rot, but he is proving an unreliable witness.
He thinks about such strange stuff in his journey to the lighthouse. More wreckage. This doesn't look like boat wreckage, though. It looks more like a dock area wreckage, although that looks like a little ship's mast.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
He doesn't sound very lucid to me. In the caves, I found some surgical equipment where he was trying to take care of his leg. And he still has, possibly with a broken leg, he still walks through all these caves and climbs until he gets up to that lighthouse by the end of the game, which we won't get there. Now, here it starts with all this mess in here, and he goes through these for so long. I got so tired of being in here. Look at this. Look at this! When I played it the first time, I screamed right there. Now, what did that do to his broken leg? He doesn't even say.
Donnelly's addiction is my one true constant. Even though I wake in false dawns and find the landscape changing, flowing in constantly through my tears, I know his reaching is always upon me.
Look at this place. And there's walls all around you. There's no place to wander or anything. And this path goes right back around to the entrance. I think I took a picture right here. Or maybe here. And the colors change. You can go up this path right here. Now, when I played, I came up to here and I thought, oh my goodness, this is a dead end. Be careful. So I went back and went the other way. Which was up through here. No, which was through here. That island out there in the middle is nothing. Now the thing is, if you come around this way, you're going to eventually have to go up the other path to the edge of that precipice anyway. So you just will not even bother to come this way. I guess these are just spots along the way where he's set up little, I don't know, memorials or something to her. You can't go anywhere else. See, it won't even let you go up there. You can only stay on the path that the game wants you to stay on. This just takes you to the same area. Okay, so you have to go back out and go back up the other path. Which we shall do. Now, if you continue on the way on around to the left, you just go all the way around the place till you get back to where you started around this way. So the only thing you can do is go up this other path, which you could have just done that first and you wouldn't even had to have gone the other way. Now, when you get up here, you desperately look all around everywhere for somewhere else to go. You even look to see if you walk around this thing, but no, you cannot. So maybe right at this point, he's thinking he could go ahead and commit suicide here. So all he can do is walk forward. And here, I just went, ah! Here's where you can get out at. I'm glad he could swim back there with that broken leg. I think I stopped about here and turned around and got a picture of this. The pictures I took should be on Steam. This one almost looks just like that other side, but it's not the same place. Now this one is different than that one up above. You can get around this one to that opening over there. And as you do it, you realize it's pretty dangerous, otherwise you're going to go down there. Believe me, kids, this goes on forever. Absolutely forever. I gotta stop and have some coffee. We won't get out of this until I finish. I mean, I'll end the video way before we ever get out of this. You're hoping that this was going to take you out, but it doesn't.
I am traveling through my own body, following the line of infection from the shattered femur towards the heart. I swallow fistfuls of painkillers to stay lucid. In my delirium, I see the twin lights of the moon and the Ariel shining to me through the rocks.
You don't see any moon down here, buddy. Now, I traveled around that way, I think, and I went around this way, I think. But you have to come back and go this way. And I went around that way. It just takes you right back down there to the water. I know he has a broken leg, but I sure wish he'd walked faster. I took a picture here. See these things? Most of them look to me like some of them look like cells with their little springly things out that they attach to other things. Some of them look like two cells that's joining each other. I think he's just drawing pictures of the progression of his disease or whatever he's got. He's got kidney stones, and I think he has syphilis and everything else. So pus, and he's broken leg. And
I will hold the hand you offered to me, from the summit down to this well, into the dark waters where the small flowers creep for the sun. Headlights are reflected in your retinas, moonlit in the shadow of the crematorium chimney.
So she was... Did she burn in the fire the car, or did he take her to a... Did she have a funeral? Was she cremated, really? Or just burned up in the... See these words? Behold, Damascus was taken or something. Nothing makes any sense. Look at all this. What is it for? It has nothing to do with the story. And believe me, it's not any kind of a map for us. There's another Damascus is taken. So what? What's that got to do with his car wreck and killing his wife and he's going insane? See, doesn't that look like a cell? That looks like a little amoeba. I don't know what's going on in here. And it's becoming very boring to me. Away from being a city. So what? And it shall I have no idea what this it says. I'm glad he's able to hold his breath while he goes through here. You either have to jump in there or try to make it across these rocks right here into that opening over there. I think she made it across these rocks. No? Oh well. Look. He's having some kind of a dream sequence as he's almost dying in this water, I think. This is probably his car that he wrecked. He's thinking about it. Maybe he ran into this other car. I don't know, but it's all about his wreck that he had. Fades to unconsciousness, and then he fades back to consciousness. While he's down in that water he fell in to begin with. Okay, you can get up over here. Now, as you're playing this game, you're hoping to goodness that that light up there is the end of the tunnel. I don't remember if it is or not. He's always having to jump off of things. Yeah, that was the end of the tunnel finally, I think. Well, no. Just another part of it. Oh, yeah, it is. That's another little area he evidently stopped at. Let's When I got to this point, I wondered if that path over there was the path I came into the tunnel on. And I thought, man, if it was, and I went all that way in there to eventually come right back out again, I could have crossed over right here and just went right back out. Not had to go through all that.
I wish I could have known Donnelly in this place. We would have had so much to debate. Did he paint these stones or did I? Who left the pots in the hut by the jetty? Who formed the museum under the sea? Who fell silently to his death into the frozen waters? Who erected this godforsaken aerial in the first place? Did this whole island rise to the surface of my stomach, forcing the gulls to take flight?
He's nuts. See, and he wonders, was it Donnelly or himself that painted these things on these rocks? He doesn't even know. More paint cans and paint splattered all over the place. I took some pictures around in here of that big moon. I have no idea what this place is down here. There's pictures of the
Dear
wrecked
Esther,
car.
I find each step harder and heavier. I drag Donnelly's corpse on my back across these rocks, and all I hear are his whispers of guilt, his reminders, his burnt letters, his neatly folded clothes. He tells me I was not drunk at all.
Oh, was it this other guy that was drunk and driving the car? I have no idea what that right there, it's, I don't know what that's used for. I don't know what that is setting out there. But this is medical instruments and gauze, and this is where he was trying to doctor his leg. I don't know what that was. That looks like it was those paddles they use to resuscitate people. He wasn't using that on Donnelly, was he? That he says he was carrying on his back. I don't know if he meant that literally or not. Who knows? I don't. This game's very weird to me. We walk around here and come to a dead end. So the only thing we can do is go down here. I have no idea what this is. Was the water once all the way up to here, and was that lanes that ships pulled into to wharfs in between or something? I don't know. There's candles sitting all over the place. I don't understand why. And evidently after a long, long period of time. Why are they still lit when earlier the wind was howling? See, this stuff goes on out into the sea. I don't know what it is. But after we have to come off that trail, we have to go through here and get back up on it somewhere again. It won't let you walk between them two rocks. See, that looks like the structure of a virus, or I don't know what it's supposed to be representing. Okay, here's another little shrine he made. This is evidently Esther. For some reason, that looks like a Khajiit in a dress to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've seen too many Khajiits. I do not understand the why of all of these candles out here. I think that's so ridiculous. And this is like a memorial to the wrecked car. Good grief.
Hall by the roadside, by the exit for Damascus, all ticking and cooled, all feathers and remorse, all of these signals routed like traffic through the circuit diagrams of our guts, those badly written boats torn bottomless in the swells, washing us forever ashore.
He's nuts. There's more painted words on there. Probably some more about Damascus. Evidently they was on their way to Damascus or when they wrecked. See,
From
by
here,
now
I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic.
There's his
and I
paper
sat
boats.
here until I'd watched all of you sink.
They didn't, because they're all over the place. I've walked around here and it just goes to a dead end, and you can walk down closer to see them paper boats, but it didn't mean anything. There's the lighthouse. You think you're getting closer, but you're not, believe me. So I've been doing this long enough. He still has a long ways to go before he actually gets over there. And I won't tell you what he does there, but you can assume for yourself. So I will leave this here. I've taken a picture of this before, but I'll take another one just in case. I can use this for the thumbnail maybe. And if you want to get this game and finish it on the way up to that lighthouse, help yourself, but it's just more of the same till you get there. So, I will see you next time in another video. Bye-bye.